Hello, and thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I'll be guiding us through a very gentle flow. This flow is suitable for people recovering from injury, particularly brain injury or post-concussion syndrome. So you'll hear me mention some modifications and accommodations, especially for you if that does describe you. But this flow is really suitable for anyone who's looking for an opportunity to move their body in a really mindful way and link breath with movement. So that's what we'll be focusing on throughout our practice today. So you can start in a comfortable seat, just cross-legged on the floor. If this doesn't work for you, you can choose any other seated position, kneeling, or maybe with a bolster or block underneath you. I'm out here in the wilderness, so I don't have any of those props with me today, but if you have them, you can feel free to use them as it feels useful throughout this flow. So starting in this comfortable seat, you can just start by really arriving here. So maybe letting the eyelids flutter closed, roll the shoulders up to your ears, and exhale, release them down your back. And then just noticing your breath. Noticing it coming in through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe you feel a different temperature as you inhale and exhale. And then we'll spend a little bit of time setting up the body. So start by feeling your seat really grounded down into the floor, into the mat, and then inhale, reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release your shoulder blades down your back. See if you can release any work in the hips, in the face, and maybe letting the eyelids flutter closed. And just notice this next breath in, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. You can keep the eyelids soft or just flutter them open gently. And we'll just take one stretch up towards the ceiling, reaching the arms up overhead, maybe clasping them, maybe flipping the palms. And then exhale, draw hands to heart center. You can release the hands away from each other, roll the wrists one way and then the other, just working out some kinks there. And then you'll take your hands and bring them up to your shoulders. You're going to give yourself a little shoulder massage. So spending some time here using the tips of the fingers to press into the muscles in the back of the shoulders, finding any places where there might be a little bit of extra tenderness. Spend some time there. Maybe take a breath. See if you can encourage those little kinks and knots to let go. And then you'll take your fingertips and start to walk them up both sides of your neck. So again, a little massage here. Just feeling the muscles start to let go a little bit. And you can, again, find any little tender places. Take a breath. And then gently place your hands at the back of your neck. And you can start to feel that curve at the back of the neck. And see if you can exaggerate that curve slightly by drawing the back of your head towards the room, towards the wall behind you, and keeping the chin tilted down towards the floor. Sometimes we tend to have this forward position of the neck from a lot of the activities that we do and from extra tension. So we're going to really focus on stacking the chin and stacking the neck, head balanced nicely right on top of the spine. You can release your hands down back into your lap and just notice this posture. See how the breath feels flowing in and out as you're sitting up nice and tall like this. Maybe it even feels a little bit effortful to keep this posture if it's something that you're not accustomed to. So again, breathing in, exhale. And we'll start to take some pranayama, some breath work. So we'll take equal parts breath. We're going to inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. So I'll count us through that, maybe keeping the eyelids fluttered closed as you do this practice. Inhaling for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. And again, breathe in. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more times, breathing in. Exhale. Last breath like this. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. We'll take some movements with the body. So you can inhale, reach the crown of your head all the way up towards the ceiling. And we'll start to take some circles with the chest. So you can inhale, draw your heart forward. And then on the exhale, you draw the chest over towards the right side, towards the back of the room. And then inhale, drawing it around forward towards the front of the room. So 2 options here as you take these gentle, slow circles around. You can keep the head neutral if you have any dizziness or discomfort in the neck. You can still get a lot of great benefits if you keep your gaze focused in one place, and that can help with any of those dizziness symptoms or neck strain. Or if your neck feels okay, you can inhale, draw your heart forward, gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round towards the back of the room, gaze lands at the belly button. So making this a little bit bigger, more exaggerated if it feels okay for your body. And that's such a big part of our practice, is that spirit of exploration and doing what we need in this body in this moment. We'll take one more big circle around, breathing in and out. And then come back to stillness. We'll take the opposite way. Inhale, drawing the heart forward, and ribs go over towards the left side, the wall behind you, front of the room. Again, maybe deciding to keep the head neutral as you focus the movement in the chest and heart area, and the hips too, getting some nice movement. Maybe you go really slowly, maybe it feels good to go quickly. We'll take one more circle, breathing in and out. And then come back to neutral, one breath in stillness. Sigh it out. Now you can land your right hand on the mat beside you. Inhale, lift through both sides of the waist, and exhale, just let your head drop over towards your right ear. Breathing in. Exhale. You can stay right here if this feels like a really useful stretch for the side of the neck, or you can take your left arm, reach it out, up, and over, taking this side bend, bending over towards the right side of your mat, keeping both hips grounded into the mat, breathing in. See what it feels like on that whole left side of your body, breathing in. Exhale. And inhale floats you right back up to neutral. Land both hands either side of you. See if you can notice what each side of your waist feels like after that side body stretch. And then we'll take the opposite side, breathing in, landing your left hand, and exhale, drop ear towards shoulder. Inhaling. Exhale. And again, you can stay right here or slide that hand out slightly. Inhale, reach your right arm up and over. Big side body stretch. What does that feel like in the whole right side of your waist? And inhale floats you right back up to seated, landing both hands either side of your body. And from here, we'll take a forward fold. So again, maybe keeping the gaze lifted. You can walk the hands forward. And if it feels okay, let the head drop forward. So you get this forward fold, maybe rocking side to side. Coming back to stillness, and then walk your hands back in towards your body. Come back up to the seated posture, and we'll take some twists now. So lengthen through both sides of the waist, and on the exhale, you'll spin your heart towards the right side of your mat. So you can decide where to place your gaze. Maybe it feels good just to stay in one spot again, or you can start to spin it towards the wall behind you, maybe even taking that left hand and placing it on the outside of your right knee, deepening this stretch, breathing in. Exhale. Another inhale. And exhale, spin your way back to neutral, taking a breath. And then we'll spin towards the opposite side. So again, inhaling, lifting through the waist. Feel the seat press into the mat as you lift through the crown of the head and spin the opposite way. So again, being mindful of where you land your gaze and maybe landing that right hand on the mat behind you, left hand on the outside of your knee, breathing in. Exhale. Another inhale. And exhale, unwind, come back to neutral. Big breath in. Sigh it out. And we'll start to make our way to child's pose. So you can just reach your hands forward. Land them on the mat. Bring the big toes together. Sink the hips back behind you. Maybe the forehead lands on the mat as well. Breathing in. And exhale. Sigh it out. While we're resting here, I'll offer you a quote. This is a quote by a famous yogi, BKS Iyengar. He says, "Yoga allows you to rediscover a sense of wholeness in your life, where you do not feel like you are constantly trying to fit broken pieces together." You can let that land with you. See if it resonates at all. And see if you can find that sense of wholeness in this moment. Resting on the mat, just being here with your body. From here, we'll make our way onto our backs. You can crawl your way up onto all fours, and the knees crawl forward, cross the ankles, roll onto your seat, and we'll land on your back. So setting up the feet, hips width distance apart, knees pointing up towards the ceiling, and then lower your back all the way down onto the mat. Feel what this feels like, and we can take a moment again to check in with that curve at the base of the neck that lifts up away from the floor. And maybe even again, just adjusting so you can see if you can feel yourself stacked really neatly. We'll take some arm flows here. So on the inhale, you'll lift your arms up overhead. Exhale, release them behind you. Inhale, lift the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release them down towards the floor. We'll take that 2 more times. So feeling the whole core really stable on the floor, lifting the arms up on the inhale. Exhale, releasing them behind you. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, release them towards the floor. Last time, breathing in. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Now we'll set up for this bridge flow. So really landing both feet on the mat, feeling the bottoms of the feet pressing into the floor. And on the inhale, you'll lift the hips up towards the ceiling, pressing the hips towards the sky. Exhale, release the hips back down onto the mat. 2 more times like that. Inhaling. Exhale. Last one, inhaling. Lots of space under the base of the neck. Exhale, release the hips back down towards the floor. Now we'll put those 2 pieces together. So you'll press into the feet. Inhale, lift the hips as you lift the arms up and over. Exhale, release them back down onto the mat. Again, inhaling. Exhale. And last one like that. Inhaling, lifting your way up. Maybe you can stay here for another heartbeat or 2, feeling that long, strong spine and core, breathing in. And exhale, release everything back down onto the mat. Just feel your body resting here. Maybe letting the legs unbend and just release down the mat. You can also take a Supta Baddha Konasana pose, this butterfly pose with the feet pressing together, knees splaying apart. Maybe one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly, breathing in. And big sigh, let it go. Now we'll start to make our way to all fours. So closing the knees like a book, crawling your way up, taking your time to flip your way over, standing yourself in this tabletop pose on all fours. We'll take some cat-cow tilts now. So again, you can keep the head in neutral position, maybe finding one point to just gaze at with the eyes. Or you can have the head go along for the ride for these poses. So we'll inhale, letting the belly drop towards the floor. Maybe gaze looks up towards the front of the room or even slightly towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding out the spine. Press through knees and hands. We'll take that 3 more times, inhaling. Exhale. If you get halfway through and you do find that you get that dizziness, just land the gaze and continue the movement in the torso. Breathing in. Exhale. Last one, inhaling deeply. Exhale, rounding out the spine. Come back to neutral. And we'll set up for our thread the needle flow. So you can land your left hand on the mat right in the middle of the center line of the mat. And inhale, reach your right arm up beside you. Exhale, slide that arm right between wrist and knee, landing on the back of that right shoulder. See what's happening with your hips. Feel your feet pressing into the mat. You can stay here. If there are other modifications and additions that you know for this thread the needle pose, maybe turning into a bind, you can feel free to take that. Otherwise, just spending this time here in your thread the needle pose, noticing the space between the shoulders release. Breathing in. Exhale. And then you'll press into your left hand, reach right arm up beside you, and land both hands on the mat. We'll take a cat-cow, inhaling. Exhale, round out the spine, and come back to neutral. And we'll take a modified plank pose here. So you can walk the hands forward slightly. Knees can stay flat on the floor. Bottom halves of the legs can be on the floor, and the upper body is in this long plank pose. So you can feel your elbows draw in towards the center line, feel a long line through the top of the head all the way through the knees. And you can stay right here, or if you'd like to take a little mini push-up, you can lower yourself down and inhale, press yourself up. And we'll come back to tabletop pose, one cat-cow to wash that away. And we'll take the other side, so planting your right hand on the center line of the mat. Inhale, reach left arm up beside you, and exhale, slide hand between wrist and knee, landing on the back of that left shoulder. Breathing in. Exhale. Spending some time noticing the space between the shoulder blades, staying right here, or maybe taking a modification if you'd like. And then gently pressing into the right hand, lift that left arm up and open, twisting. Land both hands on the mat. We'll take that modified plank again, so drawing the weight forward. Long plank pose here, feeling the belly draw in towards your spine. And then exhale, maybe dip your way forward and press your way back up, right. Our next flow will be doing a little bit more with our core. So again, we'll take that really strong tabletop pose, reach the crown of the head forward, tops of the feet flat on the floor. Land the weight into your left knee, and then inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. On the exhale, you'll draw knee to nose, lift the back body up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach that leg back behind you. And again, in different modified plank pose. So landing those right toes on the floor, long line all the way through the crown of the head through that heel. Inhale, lift the knee, and exhale, land both knees on the mat. We'll take the opposite side. So pressing the feet, pressing the hands and knees into the mat. And then inhale, reach that left leg back behind you. Exhale, draw knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back behind you and land the toes on the mat. Feel that long line of energy from the crown of the head all the way through the heel. And exhale, land both knees on the mat. One cat-cow to wash that all away. Exhale. Inhale, come back to neutral spine. And then we'll reach forward, land the hands on the mat. We'll take puppy pose. So puppy pose, the hips are lifted. You can let the forehead rest on the mat. Maybe let the heart sink towards the floor. Noticing your breath again. Breathing in. Sigh it out. And slowly walk the hands back underneath your shoulders, back to your tabletop pose. We'll take one more flow here in our all fours position. So really find that really strong base. Feet and knees are parallel to each other. We'll take a breath in. And then exhale, let the hips drop back for this child's pose, reaching the hands forward. Forehead can land on the mat. Inhale, lift your way up to that modified plank pose. So bottom halves of the legs are flat on the floor, long line through the whole upper body. And then on the exhale, you'll let the hips drop towards the floor for a cobra pose. Maybe baby cobra, just the head and heart lifted off the mat. You can walk the hands forward for that. Maybe you can press up all the way into a more full cobra, gaze pointing straight ahead, breathing in. And from here, we'll make our way back to that modified plank pose, long line of energy through the crown of the head all the way to the knees. Exhale back to child's pose. We'll take that just a little bit more quickly, inhaling, lifting your way up out of child's pose, modified plank pose. Exhale, lower the hips, lift the heart, cobra. Exhale, modified plank, breath in. Exhale, float your way back to child's pose. One more time, inhaling, lifting your way up, plank pose. Maybe this time you tuck the toes and take that full plank pose, pressing through the hands, pressing through the feet. Legs are long and strong. And then lower the knees, lower the belly, cobra pose. One last plank or modified plank, maybe tucking the toes, lifting your way up, and then dropping the knees back down onto the mat. Forehead lands on your mat. Breath in. Exhale. Can you feel which muscles were working during that flow? And from here, you'll inhale, come back to all fours and just land your whole front body on the mat. Make a pillow with the hands. Rest one cheek on the mat, crocodile pose. Breathing in. Exhale. Sigh it out. We'll start to gently make our way to standing, so no rush. You can crawl the hands underneath the body and gently crawl your knees forward. We'll be meeting at the top of our mat in a standing pose. Walking feet forward and then slowly lifting your way up to standing. Standing at the top of your mat, let's take a moment to really build that really strong mountain pose. So pressing all four corners of both feet into the mat. Maybe heels are pressing slightly away from each other and draw the thighs back towards the wall behind you. arms resting by your side. And again, checking in with that balancing feeling of the neck, that the back of the head is drawing towards the wall behind you, shoulders melting down your back, belly drawing in towards your spine, breathing in. Exhale, and we'll extend this mountain pose, reaching the arms up overhead. Maybe gaze goes slightly up, or it can stay straight ahead. Breathing in. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. From here, up at the top of your mat, you'll sink your weight into your right foot and then step your left foot back behind you for this crescent lunge pose. So a few choices here. You can take this first one with the knee dropped down to the mat. We'll do this flow twice. So you can take it first with the knee dropped down and then with the knee lifted, or if you feel pretty steady, you can have the knee lifted on both times through. You'll inhale, reach the arms up, just like we did in that mountain pose. Feel both sides of the waist long, maybe sink a little deeper in your front knee, breathing in. Exhale, hands come back to heart center. They land on either side of your front foot. Keep that lifted feeling with the upper body and step your left foot forward. Lift your way all the way up. Reach the arms. Exhale, land hands at heart. Sink the weight over into your left foot and step back with the right. Again, maybe dropping the knee, maybe keeping it lifted. Crescent lunge. Breathing in, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. Land them on either side of that front foot and step both feet to the front of the mat. Keep the heart lifted. Come up like a big T position. And exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll take that flow again, maybe this time keeping the knee lifted, sinking the weight over into your right foot. Step back with the left. You can drop the knee again here if you like, or keep it lifted. Think of drawing back on the right hip, sinking deeply into that front knee. Reach the arms. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Maybe land the hands. You can also just have the hands on the hips and press your way forward, breathing in. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Weight sinks into the left foot. Step the right foot back. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Land them on the hips and either land the hands either side of that front foot or just keep them on the hips and step your way forward, lifting your way all the way up. Extended mountain pose. Hands come to the heart. Breathing in. Exhale. Notice how your breathing has changed with that little bit of more aerobic movement, maybe a little bit of quickening of the breath, quickening of the heartbeat. Just noticing how our body responds to everything that we do. Another standing flow, so hands can come to the hips or stay at heart center and sink the weight over into your right foot. Step back with the left. This time we'll spin that back heel down for your warrior one pose. So the back heel is down towards the mat and you're drawing back on the right hip. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. From here, land the hands on the hip and you'll pop that back foot forward until you lift it up so you're balancing here. So lifting that knee, stork pose, and we'll take our tree pose. So foot can come to your ankle, calf, or to the inner thigh. And then from here, we'll turn this into a balance. So if you are near a wall, that can be really useful. You can have one hand resting on the wall. And again, foot can be right on the ankle or the calf. And staying here, finding that point that's not moving with the gaze, keeping that hip opening out towards the side, breathing in. Exhale. And then draw that knee back into your chest, land it on the floor, shake out the legs, and we'll take the opposite side. Hands come to the hips, step back with the right foot, spin that right heel down. Whoops, got a hole in the forest floor here, right under me. Sinking into your warrior two. Back edge of the back foot presses down into the mat. Hips are squared straight ahead. Warrior pose is a really strong and powerful pose. So see if you can channel that strength and energy in this pose. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. We're coming to that balancing pose again. So if you're near a wall, that's really useful. You can press up off that back heel, walk that back foot forward, draw it into your chest, and then land in your tree pose. So maybe foot comes to ankle, calf, or inner thigh, landing the hand on something to balance, drawing hands to heart center, finding a gaze, finding a point to rest your gaze on, breathing in. Exhale. And then draw that knee into your chest, land it back on the mat, shake out the legs a little bit. One more standing flow. From here, you can land both hands on your hips again. Sink the weight into your right foot, step back with your left. This time, again, spin that back heel down towards the floor. We'll open up to our warrior two pose. So front knee bent deeply. Back leg is straight. Both feet pressing into the mat. Breathing in. Land your left hand on your back leg. Reach right arm up and over. Side body stretch. And inhale, come back upright. You'll turn everything towards the front of the room. We get one more crescent lunge here. And then we'll take an open twist the opposite way, lifting up through the heart, opening out towards the side wall, breathing in. Exhale. Draw the hands back to center. Maybe they land on the hips. You can walk that back foot forward. Both feet meet at the front of the mat. Last leg, second leg, last side. Press both feet into the mat. Sink the weight over into your left foot and step back with the right. Again, you'll open that hip up by pressing the back edge of that back foot. Warrior two pose. Long lines through the fingertips, reaching through both ends. And land your back hand on your back leg. Reach left arm up and over. Exhale, come back to neutral. We'll turn all the toes towards the front of the room. Crescent lunge again. Back knee can be lifted up off the mat. And from here, we get to twist open the opposite way. So reaching the arms away from each other. Breathing in. Feeling the feet pressing into the floor. Feeling the crown of the head lifting. And then exhale, come back to neutral. Start to walk that back foot forward. Both feet meet at the front of the mat. Reach the arms up. Exhale, draw hands to heart center. We'll start to make our way onto our backs. So you can just get there however it works for you, walking your feet forward, landing the hips on the mat. And we'll take one little boat pose as we make our way all the way down to the mat. So you can reach the hands forward, plug them into the shoulder sockets, and just lean your way back. Feel your whole front body working here. Feel that opening in the chest. See if you can get that same feeling with the curve of the back of the neck here. So you can stay right like this or lift one foot and then the other, balancing here. Breathing in. Exhale. Another inhale. Exhale, land the feet, land the back body. Let it all go. We'll take another bridge flow, just like we did in the beginning of our practice today. So reaching the arms up and over as you lift the hips. Press the feet into the mat, lift the hips up and back. Exhale, land everything back down on the mat. From here, we'll take a hip opening stretch. So feeling your whole body resting on the floor. Bring your attention to your left foot. Feel really steady there. And then bring your attention to your right foot and lift that one up. Reach it up towards the ceiling. Maybe roll the ankle around. And then cross that ankle over knee, figure four pose. So lots of choices here. This can be a really great passive stretch, or you can take your right hand and press into that right knee, opening it up. Breathing in, exhale. And from here, you can maybe stay right where you are or draw that left thigh in towards your chest so you get a little deeper opening in the right hip. Keep pressing through this foot. Keep both feet active and send your breath into the spaces where you feel any sensation. Breathing in. Exhale, sigh it out. Notice what happens with the muscles when you give yourself that big sigh. And gently land your foot back down on the mat. Reach right leg back up towards the ceiling and let both feet meet side by side. We'll take the opposite side, so pressing into the right foot, and then bring your attention to the left foot. Reach that one up towards the ceiling. Roll the ankle. Cross ankle over knee. And again, you can decide if it feels good to stay right here, or you can take your left hand and press that knee away from you, or draw that thigh into your chest, deepening this stretch in the left hip. Breathing in. Exhale. And gently letting that go. Reaching left foot up towards the sky again, landing both feet side by side. And then we'll take a spinal twist here. Last active pose. Reach the left leg down the mat. Draw your right knee into your chest. And then just let it drop over towards the left side of your mat. You can have your gaze keep pointing straight up towards the ceiling, or you can let it drop over towards the right side. And then inhale, draw that knee back into center. Land both legs side by side. And draw your left knee into your chest. And gently let it drop over towards the right side of your mat. Breathing in. Maybe gaze stays right up towards the ceiling, or it can drop over towards the left shoulder. Breath in. Exhale. And then inhale, draw that knee back into your chest. We'll draw both knees into your chest, and we'll take a happy baby here. So even just drawing the knees in just like this might be plenty, or you can reach up for the inside arches of the feet and draw the knees in towards your armpits. Breathing in. Exhale. And start to lay yourself all the way down onto your mat. Reach the legs long. Feet are 6 inches or more away from each other. Feet splaying apart. Arms resting by your sides. Palms face up if that feels okay. You'll take one more final big breath in. And exhale. Sigh it out. Notice your body here in space. Feel the places in your body that are touching the floor. Feel really connected to the earth, really supported. You can start to send your attention down into the bottoms of the feet, noticing if there's any sensation there, coolness or warmth. And then to the calves, the thighs, the hips. Noticing the gentle curve of the spine away from the floor at the low back. Feeling the belly rise and fall with breath. Feeling the shoulders resting on the mat. Noticing your right hand, your left hand, the whole length of your neck, your shoulders, and your face. Letting go of any extra work there, especially the muscles around the eyes, in the mouth. One big breath in. Sigh it out. And as you rest here, I'll offer you that quote once more. Yoga allows you to rediscover a sense of wholeness in your life, where you do not feel like you are constantly trying to fit broken pieces together. Rest deeply. Shavasana. And when you feel complete, you can start to bring yourself back to life, wiggling the toes, the fingers. Touch each fingertip to your thumb. Gently roll over onto one side and press yourself into a comfortable seat, maybe keeping the eyes closed the whole way. And take a moment here and notice the state of your mind, the state of your body. You can gently draw your hands to heart center. Keep the lift of the heart as you bow your head. Let the eyelids flutter open so the fingertips are the first thing that you see. And then lift your gaze. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. The light in me bows to and honors that same divine light in you. Namaste.